Tesla just had their best quarter ever when it comes to vehicle deliveries, which is insane if you know the context of the past quarter. It's pretty shocking, actually, how good they were able to get vehicles out into customers' hands. So the official number is 184,800 vehicles, just a little bit shy of 185,000, which keep in mind that these numbers are to be viewed as slightly conservative because Tesla doesn't officially consider it a delivery until all the paperwork is signed, everything is handed over to the consumer, so it's possible they might actually have hit 185,000 by the time the earnings call happens by the end of the month. And with production a little bit over 180,000, this is huge, okay? Because quarter one is typically the weakest part of the year. This is where vehicle sales for pretty much the entire auto industry are at their all-time low, and throughout the year it just gets stronger and stronger, and typically by Q3 and Q4, that's when you hit your peak deliveries. So the fact that from Q4, Tesla was able to increase their record number of deliveries in Q1, that's a big deal, and the craziest part is none of this counts Model S and X refresh. So they did technically count a little over 2,000 Model S and X deliveries, which doesn't seem like much, of course, because that was just the final batch of the last design with the old interior and no plaid powertrain and that kind of thing. Also, feel really bad for those of you out there who took delivery of a Model S or X like a week or two before the S and X got refreshed. I hope you still enjoy your car and you like what you got, but in my opinion, if I were in your shoes, there would be some pretty immense buyer's remorse right there to be like, if I had just waited, I could have had so much better. But some people don't like the yoke or the chrome delete, and you know, there's all kinds of opinions out there. So I hope you like your car, but that was the last batch, and over 180,000 vehicles produced. None of them are counted as the S and X refresh. So this is somewhat bad. I mean, overall it's good, but there's a bit of bad news if you want to be pessimistic here. For some reason, Model S deliveries have still not begun yet. The Kilowatts spots them all the time, and maybe Elon was referring to employee deliveries first. We're still seeing prototypes spotted and that kind of thing. But yeah, we went all the way through February and March, which initially Elon Musk said that the deliveries for the new S would be in February, and technically there hasn't been a actual customer delivery yet, which is a bit surprising. So hopefully it will actually happen this quarter. Tesla mentioned that they are ramping up production, and Model X deliveries could hopefully be by the end of this quarter as well. But yeah, this is an insane milestone if you consider all these deliveries are just the 3 and Y, which of course they are the majority of Tesla's sales as is. But Elon Musk did mention that demand has been very high for the updated S and X, and they even had an internal memo leak that said they want to go back to having a 2-shift system for the S and X because demand is so high for these vehicles, and they haven't had a 2-shift system for a while. So that means that deliveries for the rest of 2021 are pretty much only going to get substantially better than this quarter, and they're already record-breaking, okay? This is what Tesla is doing within the first ramp-up of Giga Shanghai, now producing the Model Y, and of course ramping the Model 3. Simultaneously, Fremont had temporary shutdowns, there were some rumors of chip shortages involved, there was the fire at the Giga Press, all of that stuff, and they were still able to nearly hit 185,000 deliveries. This is substantially higher than I think a lot of people were anticipating Tesla was able to do, which means that now the idea of Tesla perhaps hitting 1 million vehicles delivered this year is actually looking somewhat feasible. If we look at previous growth trends of how many more vehicles Tesla was able to deliver as the year went on, and assuming there's not any more, 6-week shutdowns or any major delays when it comes to Giga Berlin, which should be coming online by June or July of this year, and then Giga Texas is most likely going to be operational by the end of this year, I could actually see this happening, which is crazy that, Tesla didn't really put guidance out there saying to expect 1 million vehicles, but we have heard from a few sources that internally that's the number Tesla is shooting for. And man, it would be an amazing one if they went from 500,000 vehicles delivered in 2020 to 1 million delivered in 2021. I think that's quite the astounding growth story, and knowing how well Tesla is able to mass produce the Model Y and scale up production both in China, now in Berlin, and hopefully by the end of the year in Texas as well, it shows that Tesla is serious about these numbers, and there is absolutely, without a doubt, no demand problems here whatsoever. And I imagine the sales for the S and X to be quite a bit higher this year than they have been in years prior, simply because Tesla is a lot bigger company now and there's a lot more demand for them. And I think that the Model X is probably going to sway a few people in the luxury crossover market, and there's simply going to be a lot of eyes on Tesla that weren't necessarily there before. And I still knew a lot of people that probably could have afforded a Model S and X but decided to to go with a Model 3 or Y instead because they just thought it looked more up to date. They thought it looked cleaner, it looked more futuristic, and in some ways the tech was kind of more advanced on the 3 and Y, and Tesla didn't do much with the S and X for a long time. Now that they finally have, and there's very noticeable differences on the interior, slight differences on the exterior, but of course huge differences when it comes to range and performance, this I think could be the supercycle the S and XC for the first time in a while, and knowing that they're already crushing all of these deliveries with just the 3 and Y with 2 factories, and there's supposed to be 4 active ones by the end of this year, man, it's an exciting time for Tesla. I'm seeing them expanding in China now, and most likely we're gonna find out more about this Model 2 by the end of the year, hopefully with an unveiling. And I know some people out there have asked me not to call it the Model 2, or Musk at one point said don't call it the Model 2. I'm willing to call it whatever Tesla wants, they just gotta give me a better name than the $25,000 Tesla hatchback or something. When you're a content creator and you're making videos like this all the time, we have to say names and repeat things over and over again, and Model 2 simply rolls off the tongue very simply, a lot better than the $25,000 compact hatchback. It's just, I don't want to say that every single time, so if they give us an official name, the Cybercar or the Model 3.1 or whatever they want to call it, just give me a name and I'll honor it, but until then I'm going to keep calling it Model 2. That's when we can start to expect to see Tesla exceed 1 million vehicles delivered every single year, which hopefully is not too far away. So let me know what you guys think of vehicle deliveries. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.